Hello, people. This is Kyle Krueger With A Thought. And today we have a discussion of a video game called, well, actually, it's a video game sequel called Vigilante 8 Second Offense, and I'm here with a person that really loves this game. What's your name, man?
Well, officially it's the real Down Under, but let's just go with Down for now.
All right, Down. Okay, so you love this game.
That's an understatement.
Okay, can I say worship?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I will admit, I got into Vigilante 8 when I saw this guy named 72 Winnebago. He's like this YouTuber that did reviews of card-themed games, and, you know, he mentioned Vigilante 8.
I mean, it's certainly up there. You know, Vigilante 8 was the more unknown vehicle game back in the 90s, because most people know of, you know, Twisted Metal.
Do you like Twisted Metal?
To be honest, I haven't actually played it.
Wow, you should. Just saying.
I have been meaning to get around to it.
So yeah, I do admit that I've been getting into Vigilante 8 recently because, well, to be honest, it's a very good video game series, an underrated gem series, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about the game. Vigilante 8 Second Offense, or I like to call it Vigilante 8 2.
Yeah, V8 2, yeah.
So, what's this game about? Tell the viewers what's this game about.
Well, Vigilante 8 Second Offense is basically a car combat video game, and it takes place in the 70s. And the story, quote unquote, is this old guy, Lord Clyde, who's running Omar, which is a big oil company in the present day. And all his stocks are going down. So it's like, oh shit, righto. So he stole this time machine, and him and two of his colleagues, they go back and try and take over, basically. And in the opening sequence of the video game, you actually see him going back in time and trying to kill Convoy, who's the leader of the Vigilantes. It was basically the auto wars of all the factions. Because in the first game, you had, you know, the Vigilantes and the Coyotes. The Coyotes fucking lost.
And now you have three factions.
Yeah, now you have three factions, which is the Vigilantes, the Coyotes, and the Drifters, which is the new addition into the sequel.
Right. Dude, that's mostly the plot, with 70s themes and a lot of interesting ideas in this game.
Yeah, mostly I think the big thing was the destructible environments, because, you know, back in the 90s, that was sort of a new concept.
Well, this is when the 90s can get away with anything back then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, for example, are you a wrestling fan?
Yes and no. I actually do my own,
so like you're getting into
series.
it, but you're not, you're just a casual fan.
Yeah, I'm not too heavily watching it nowadays, obviously, but I used to watch it a little bit back then.
Well, yeah, back in the 90s, pretty much like everybody can get away with everything. Like, for example, like, if you got away with blackface, you can get offended nowadays, but in the 90s, it was all good. Nah, I'm not gonna do...
Yeah, the Attitude Era was, like, probably what I paid the most attention to.
Blackface sucks, but it's... Just saying, blackface sucks. People that use blackface, I bet they're not bad people, they just need to know better. Sorry, that sounded stupid. Okay, so I got it. So the reason I want to interview you is because I like your list of Vigilante 8.
Oh, the tier lists, yeah.
So what's the tier list? My friends on DeviantArt been using it, and I was like, what the hell is this? Is this like a new thing that's like the hipsters are now using again?
I sort of looked at it. I'm like, nobody's really made a tier list for this video game, so I thought I might take a crack at it since I've played it a lot and I've played all the characters.
So what's a tier list?
The first one I made was like 2 years ago, and it wasn't very good, to be honest.
So can you explain to my viewers and to me what a tier list is? Because I still don't know what the hell it is.
A tier list is mostly used in fighting games, and it explains what the higher ranked characters are, who to use, who's top tier, for example. And then you've got your lower bracket characters, people that suck. It's mostly a fighting game thing.
So it's just Oh. Well, okay, that explains a lot then.
Yeah. Tier list got its origin in the fighting game series, but it can be applied to multiple things.
Yeah. So, I liked your video. You actually do go into detail as to why which character is good, which character's better, which one sucks, which one. I like that. You know why? Because because you're giving people not only fans of the game but also newbies that want to get into this game.
Well, the general knowledge, like, it's sort of expected, at least to me, in a tier list sense. You got to explain why this character is better than everyone else. Like, I have to explain why Convoy fucking sucks, but I've also got to explain why Chastity Blue is really good.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? What was your thoughts on the first Vigilante 8 game? Was it good, or did you feel like it was good, but the sequel was better?
I think that's the general consensus, because I never played the original game as a kid. I didn't pick it up until probably a couple of years ago. And I do enjoy the first game. I think it did really well as the first game in the series. And Second Offense took that concept and just improved upon it, even despite it was only a year later, but it was miles better than the first one.
Yeah, I have to admit, Vigilante 2 is just a better game, to be honest. It's like...
They improved it in all aspects.
It's like the first game's Mountain Dew, the second game is Mountain Dew Baja Blast, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, you can go with that.
Okay, how about a better example? Do you like Fanta? Fanta soda?
Well, yeah, okay, let's go with that one.
Okay, the first one is Fanta Orange, the second one is Fanta Berry, that's the blue Fanta.
Ah, yeah, okay.
That stuff's good. That stuff, anyone who hasn't drank it, you're wasting your life, dude. You gotta drink this. Okay, in my opinion, Vigilante 8 is, like, have you ever had a character that, okay, so, I want fans to know more about your love of this second game, this game you worship until the day you die. Sorry.
So, hey, what did you want to know more about in particular?
Like, which characters do you like? Like, for example, like, which character do you think sucks, but has some good, but is good to ride with? Or, here's a better example, which character is, like, a good character, but you don't want to play him? You get what I mean?
Well, not in that exact sense. My favorite character, just for favoritism's sake, is Houston. But in the tier list videos, I only rank her high tier or, like, 5th or so. So I don't think she's the best character in the game, but I still think she's the best character.
Right, you get what I mean? It's like, here's an example of what I'm saying. My favorite character in Vigilante, the entire series, is Y the Alien.
Ah, yeah.
Because I felt like you could tell, like, in Vigilante 2, like, they're really trying to make Y more like he's more in the game, because in the first game, like, he doesn't really have a story, he's just a bonus character, which isn't bad, but it's like, so everybody else gets a story except him?
Technically, actually, Why the Alien does have a story, because the PS1 version and the N64 versions of the first game are actually quite different.
So what's the... oh god, it's one of those games.
There's actually differences. So, in the PS1 version, which is probably the version you've played and I played, there's 4 missions for every character. Every character has a story, except Why the Alien. He's only playable. But in the N64 version, everybody gets an extra enemy in each stage, and Why the Alien actually has a quest line.
Okay.
Also, he has 5 stages instead of 4.
Okay, so what's his story in the different versions?
Well, it doesn't have one in PS1, obviously. But I think in the N64, his Luxor Saucer crashes, and he gets to talking with Dave, who is the fanatic. And he hears about Base 51 and how he's keeping all of his comrades, so he fixes his saucer and he goes to try and rescue them or whatever. And in his ending movie, Loki actually steals his saucer and crashes it, so now Why the Alien is stuck on Earth.
Yep.
And then that transitions into the second game when he turns into the garbage man and he's looking around for parts for his ship or whatever.
Yeah, here's the thing I like about Y is that I like how, like, I like the Garbage Man outfit. It's so original. It like you can at least tell why it's trying to fit in. It's like, have you ever watched Invader Zim?
I've seen clips, but I haven't sat down.
There's a character. Zim is the invader, but he doesn't do anything to disguise himself. He just puts a wig and like fake eyeballs, and that's it.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, because the series does have mean, stupid people. People think he has a skin disease. So like, I have to give White credit. He actually does look like a human, a really bizarre one, but
yeah.
I also like one of the things I like is that I want to know, like, Vigilante 8-2 takes place 2 years after the original, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like, I want to know what Y's been doing in the past 2 years, because I feel like there's kind of a story there.
I mean, probably getting the garbage truck together, I'd have to assume. But yeah, it is 2 years. So 1975 and 1977.
So, does he work for a trash company, or did he just make his own trash company?
I think he just stole the truck. I don't think he actually works for any company. I believe he just stole the garbage truck to try and collect the electronic parts he needed.
For 2 years.
For 2 years.
Well, yeah, I felt like, you know what I kind of felt? You know, this was, I like Y's story. I like him because it's like, Y, at least you could tell he's going through an arc, or, well, not a development, but he's like, you can like tell like he's the character that does the most adventures, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But his vehicle, in my opinion, is,
The garbage truck, I assume you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the weapon is good. I will admit it's a powerful weapon. It's just the speed is just, I mean, I guess it's a garbage.
The garbage truck.
I get it's a garbage truck, but come on. The only time when it's fast is when it's the hover garbage truck.
The hot rod version, or with the actual hover pods?
The hover pod version, the hover garbage truck version.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too bad. Like, the speed is lacking, obviously, because it's a garbage truck, but he does make up for it with his decent special weapon.
To be honest, like, I was, like, to be honestly fair, I like playing Y because it's like I'm invested with his character and story, but I felt like they could have just given him a better story, but to be honestly, like, a better car, but I get why they chose the garbage truck.
It's nice to have variety with the vehicles. Like, you've got your heavyweights like Convoy and the Coltsman, Molo, and Y the Alien, obviously, but you've also got your lightweights on the opposite end. You know, like a Baki, Team Fast. They've got to have a variety in their vehicles.
Yeah, so who's your favorite, who do you think, which Vigilante 8-2 character do you think sucks as a character, but you like to play them because they're fast or better? You get what I mean?
Chase. No contest. That's...
Chase
is... He's got... Agent R. Chase. He's one of the drifters. He's the time travel cop. And he goes back in time to try and chase Clyde. And in his ending movie, he succeeds and then gets hit on the back of the head by a Baki. And then he ends up marrying Chassis Blue.
Do you think he's just a boring character, or what do you think his problem with his character is? Like,
I like the fact that he's, the future time traveler in the old 70s, and he's obsessed with everything, but it just kind of seems boring to me, and playing him does feel a bit boring, but he's mechanically a really good character, because he has probably the best mobility in the game, and his special kind of sucks, but it's also super easy to use.
I also felt like they could have given one to Urt. I'm trying to remember his name. Urt.
Oh, Dusty Earth.
I mean, he's kind of like the only character that like kind of shows up.
Yeah.
He has no story, or he does, but they just forgot to because of a budget or something.
I believe so, yeah, because the three characters that don't get stories, which is Dave Coltsman, Boogie, and Dusty Earth. Dusty Earth is like the weakest character story-wise, like, easily, because he's a new character and he barely gets any story. The only story he does have is in his biography, which admittedly I haven't read in a recent while.
Like he has a good car,
Oh yeah, the wagon looks cool.
but it's like, yeah, I mean, so it's like here's an example. Like, do you like Convoy as a character, even though his car sucks?
Oh yeah, no, I love Convoy as a character, and his truck looks really fucking cool. I do like Convoy. Well, looking at him.
Just not playing as him.
Yeah.
You wanna know what's so weird? There's a character. I'm gonna tell viewers there's a character named Clyde, or Slick Clyde,
yeah.
or Lord
Slick Clyde, yeah.
or Lord Clyde. See, Clyde was. Can you explain what Clyde was? Who he is?
In the first game, Slick Clyde was sort of a car enthusiast. He drove like an old Ford Bronco, and he really loved his car. But he got dragged into the auto wars, or bullied into them, I should say, by Convoy's right-hand man, John Torque. And he didn't really want to participate, but he had to anyway. And in some of the biography, it says that he has a lust for power, and he'd take over the Vigilantes if John Torque didn't exist. And in his ending movie, he actually finds the Omar chip that Houston gives up, which gives him his electricity. So in the second game, he's now the CEO of Omar.
And the ruler.
And the ruler, yeah, and he's like this old. I think he's in his 70s in the second game. And he's really fucking old, and then yeah, he time travels back. So he's a big fan of lightning, which is one of my favorite parts.
He doesn't look that old.
He doesn't look. No, he looks good for his age.
Oh, you know, it took place in the year 2017, and I didn't see all that stuff in the real world.
I think this might be an alternate timeline.
I know, but I don't think movies and games do a good job predicting the future.
Well, no, yeah, this game did come out in 1999, so.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what was Clyde like? I understand where Clyde is in the second game, like his future self, but what about his past self? Like, what is?
Well, we actually don't know too much about his original self in Vigilante 8 because not much is known according to the booklets. Apparently, it just labels him as a playboy, but that's about the most information you get.
It's just weird because I thought it would be cool to see him interact with his past self, like how he became this, but, you know, budgets and stuff. It's just... Yeah, I mean, he also drives a limo in the second game.
Which is fucking cool.
I don't know if that... limos are not easy to drive.
Well, mostly, like, Clyde all around, I'm really a big fan of, because his stats are great. The limo's easy to handle, and you can turn it pink. Like, what's not to love?
Oh, God. This was... sorry, I have a nose. My nose is, like, allergies and stuff, sorry.
You're right.
What do you think was... What's your thoughts on Bobo?
Bobo?
Yeah.
Bobo's very interesting. So he's original to Second Offense. He's one of the new drifters. And he's probably one of the most fun, but also difficult characters to play as.
Okay, can you explain who his character is? Like,
so Bobo is he's an astronaut from NASA, but spoilers, obviously, he's actually a monkey. And he escapes from NASA with one of the moon trekkers and goes on an adventure. And he actually is the rival to Y the Alien, or the Garbage Man, because he's attracted to him. And you can tell he's a monkey because he actually uses NASA flight log recordings to use all his voices, which is also a really interesting character concept. That's probably one of my favorite things about Bobo. And in his ending movie, he... well, not his ending movie, but Y the Aliens, he actually meets up with Y the Alien and they fucking fly off together, which is really cool.
do you think Bobo's really intelligent?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, he can drive a car, that's the first point in his favor.
Yeah, but he can't tell if someone's dead or not.
Yeah, that's true, because of his special weapon, he actually keeps holding on to him even if they are dead.
No, I mean, like, when he sees Y on the ground, Y just steals his car, and
Oh yeah, he steals the moon truck at the end of his movie.
and
Yeah,
Bob
that's
just
right.
is super slow for a monkey. He just stands there. While this alien dude in a garbage truck stole your vehicle. I bet
Yeah, he's not the brightest banana of the bunch.
I bet he's smart, but he's not that smart, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Or maybe he is, but okay, never mind. But I like the concept of an astronaut in a game in a car combat
A
game.
monkey astronaut in a video game. Yeah, it's certainly a very interesting concept.
At least his signature move is not related to a banana. So I love. So what's your favorite level / and your least favorite level in Vigilante Second Offense?
Oh, jeez. Least favorite level's no contest. That's fucking Florida. Because it's mostly water. The item pickup's always a bitch. And the enemies are usually mostly annoying.
Which
That's
one?
no contest.
What's your favorite?
Oh, jeez. I'd have to say Arizona, even though it is the first stage for every quest line, so you don't obviously get much time of it. Arizona is it's basic, but it just works as a stage.
I like Alaska.
Alaska's not too bad, yeah.
Well, to be honest,
I'm not a big fan of snow levels, but they're still pretty good.
Utah's not bad too.
Yeah, Utah's pretty alright.
Do you like Louisiana?
Yeah and no.
Well, to be honestly fair, it kind of looks like a swamp, so...
Yeah, no, to its credit, it definitely portrays Louisiana.
The thing is that, want to know something that's really just weird about this game? It doesn't have Las Vegas in it.
Yeah, actually, because the first game actually did have a Casino City stage, but the second offense didn't actually. But I know you can get the first stages of Vigilante 8 in second offense via the cheat codes. So technically it is in second offense, but also it isn't.
So, half and half.
Yeah.
So who do you think has the best special in Vigilante 8?
I did a video on that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Well, spoilers for that. It's Boogie.
Well, to be honestly fair, anyone who kills people with a disco ball is kind of dangerous.
The big reason Boogie's special weapon is so strong is mostly for the fact that it has 0 cooldown on it, which means you can fire it and it stops and you can immediately fire it again. So you can just keep letting it off, and it's super annoying to fight against, but using it's so fun. Plus, it's a tracking weapon, so you don't have to aim it. It lifts your opponents up, so they can't do anything if they do get hit by it, and the whammy damage is super nice. I should clarify what a whammy is, shouldn't I?
Yeah, because
That's something I haven't gone over. So whammies is when you hit your opponent with 2 different weapons at the same time. And
so
the second weapon that hits will do double damage.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
So you do actually get the notification that says whammy.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on? Okay, so I'm trying to remember this guy. The only thing I remember is he has the name 13.
Oh, Dallas 13.
So I always make jokes about Dallas 13. Like, he has a cool car though.
Oh yeah, the Palomino 13.
Yeah, so I actually thought of a funny nickname for him. Robot Redneck.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Is he really a redneck?
Well, he's not a redneck, but like the story behind him, obviously, he used to be what was his original name? Darius. That's what he was. And but he fucked up a mission in the comics, so Clyde put his brain in the robot body. But I do like the fact that we're going for the old Wild West thing with his robot body, basically.
Oh yeah, by the way, there is a comic. I did read it. It's not as good as the game.
Oh, no, the comic isn't very good, but the fact that it exists is nice.
I've seen way better comics. Just saying.
Yeah, it's definitely not up there. It explains like a few minor things, like how Boogie got out of jail, and like I said, the time travel missions where they try and actually steal the time travel device, stuff like that.
The art looks nice. The art looks nice. The art of the book, of the comic book, the art.
Oh yeah.
It's just the problem is it has no Y or Bobo, which could have made the book interesting, in my opinion.
Probably. It certainly would have been nice to know what have happened between the first the two games with Why the Alien, like just having more context.
Yeah, but to be honestly fair, comic books are not... Making a video game based off a comic book is kind of a two-way sword.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah. It either goes good or it sucks, but hey, at least it's in the middle, so that's not bad, but...
It was decent.
Right. So, because I was in the Vigilante 8 too, this is a dumb idea. You're gonna laugh at this. I wanted to make a movie based off Why the Alien. And there's some Vigilante 8 characters, and then, I don't know, like, that was a stupid idea.
Well, I've seen stupider movies come out of Hollywood, so...
I mean, to be honestly fair, it is cashing on nostalgia, but at least it's, like, giving an underrated game series some attention, so...
Oh, yeah.
I think Y would be a good main character to follow in a movie.
I mean, he's certainly not the main character in the game, so it would be a fresh twist on the series.
Like... Oh, man, like, I think the idea of having, like, an alien be this garbage man and tries to go back home is, like, such a great idea for a movie, but you got to give it in the right hands, and...
Yeah.
I also wanted it to take place in the 70s, because, you know, this game does take place in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, in the late 70s, yeah.
Oh, man, that is such a good idea. I don't... The thing is, the problem is, video game movies suck.
More often than not, yeah.
It's just, I don't want Vigilante 8 to have that reputation of having a live-action movie that sucks. So... yeah, just...
It's a very dangerous gamble, yeah.
Man.
Like, I'm fine with it being a cult classic, that yeah.
If it does become a cult classic, I don't mind that. So here's something... So want to know something I actually like? So I'm gonna ask you this question. I knew I was gonna ask you this. I think every Vigilante 8 fan gets asked this. What's your thoughts on Vigilante 8 Arcade?
I had a feeling that was what you were going to ask. Truthfully, I haven't played it, because I never gotten around to playing it, because I actually emulate the first two games, so the 360 emulator is a bit but I've seen gameplay of it. It does look pretty decent, and for a reboot, it's not bad.
I thought
all the core concepts are there, and it uses the first cast of characters with a bit weird changes. For some reason, Houston is in her tow truck, not in her original car for some reason. But, like, as a game, it's fine.
I thought it was...
Like, it's nothing compared to the originals, but it was still decent.
I mean, it tried.
Anyway. Yeah.
It's trying to be like a reboot, like, it's trying to be a reimagining, but there's one problem. There's no stories, it's just...
It's just gameplay, yeah.
Exactly. I don't mind that, but it's like you need a story in your game sometimes.
The story's never prominent in the originals, but it's still there in the background, you know, in the text and the ending movies and whatnot. So it is still there. But yeah, in Arcade, it really lives up to its name as Arcade, and it's just sort of it's just a video game.
If this is a story, here's what I would say. Here's what I say if this was if this was one of those retelling games. Here's what I would say. By the way, we're kind of forgetting one character. You know what his name is? Clyde! It's
what? Actually, yeah, he doesn't show up in
I know, you
Arcade,
can make... No, he doesn't. It's like maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't actually. That's interesting.
I bet it was a budget thing. You know, it was a budget thing, which is understandable. This game, Arcade, kind of looks like an independent game, just in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's like, really, you put Y in the game. Why didn't you put Clyde in it? You get what I mean?
Yeah, considering Clyde is sort of the main focal point between 1 and 2.
Right, and plus, you can make an argument he's the most important character in that series.
Probably, yeah.
Well,
I'd say him and Convoy are probably, like, the more important characters.
I still think Y is, but...
Oh, yeah, and why?
So, want to know something funny that I actually, when I was playing the first game, it's like, what? I asked myself, why isn't any 1970s newscast reporting on 12 cars having a war?
I think it was mostly because the fact it was in the middle of nowhere, actually. But yeah, the fact there was no media coverage was certainly interesting.
Like it's like this is kind of media, media.
Shit up, yeah.
Like, think about it, 12 cars plus an alien are having a war with vehicles. I think this is newsworthy. But no, they don't do it. I mean, I get it's a game, but I wouldn't mind that in a game.
Which is like news snippets or whatnot.
Yeah, like that would actually make the story interesting. Like the government, the police, even the president couldn't stop them. It's just this giant war between two factions that nobody gives a crap about. You get what I mean?
Well, the government did have their hands in it because they actually paid. Oh no, it was Omar. Sorry, they paid Sid Byrne to run around and destroy all the other oil competitors. So technically, the government did have a hand in it, I suppose.
My favorite character in the my favorite character in like V81 is Y, but the one I played the most is either Boogie or let's say Clyde and Boogie, to be honest.
Yeah, no, those are both solid choices.
I tried to play with Beeswax
one. The first game, so
I like playing as Beeswax, but more for his character because his character is more interesting than the vehicle itself.
Yeah, Beeswax is certainly interesting. He's a very angry beekeeper. That's not something you see very often, and you can't really compare him to the others.
I mean, he's original. He's probably the most standout person in the game.
Probably, yeah.
What's your thoughts on Loki?
On Loki?
Yeah.
I like his character concept. The fact that he's, he always talks in pilot, I can't think of the word, jingo, or
pirate,
lingo.
Aircraft lingo.
Aircraft lingo, yeah. So he's always, he still thinks he's a fighter pilot, and he still thinks he's actually in an aircraft vehicle, which I always thought was a bit funny, but his cars, eh.
Did he die in his ending?
No, he got captured. He tried to steal one of the aliens' UFO, crashed it, and then got captured. So I'm pretty sure Loki's in a prison somewhere.
An alien prison?
No, a regular prison.
Oh, that sucks.
Although I think Area 51 has certainly got a few words for him.
Yeah. Well, at least it explains why Y has been here for 2 years. You need to get that.
Yeah, like I said before, he crashed the UFO, so why the alien had to run around and get spare parts.
Well, at least he tried. For a little dude, he does know how to get things.
Well, I think in Loki's story, he was actually an Area 51 pilot, so he was flying, knowledge in flying UFOs, I believe, and then I think due to an accident, they kicked him out.
So do you like Sid?
Sid? The problem with that is you're asking an Australian what's their thoughts on an Australian.
Oh, sorry.
For God's sake. I love Sid, but his accent drives me up the fucking wall.
So he's not... What do you think his character is? Like...
Well, he's basically a terrorist. Like, he he's an Australian-born terrorist, and he only does for one thing, which is money.
Well, in my opinion, do you know what he looks like? Do you want to think his character is?
What does he look like?
He's this Aussie douchebag that thinks the world owes him something.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
He also can't get any puss in life.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
He's
got a lot of money. I'm sure that's one of the things that he has.
Right, but think about it. I mean, this guy does nothing but burn people.
Yeah, it's in his name. It's what he lives for. He's an arsonist.
Yeah, but I don't think this guy looks like a terrorist. He just looks like that douchebag that you see in a 7-Eleven that's gonna rob you or beat you up to get your money.
Yeah, he probably was a sort of the bully in high school.
I mean, to be honestly fair, he's not in the second game, so well, that means he was pointless, kinda.
Well, because in his ending movie, he actually ends up in the middle of nowhere with no gas.
Well, he
gets his money from Omar, and then he's just stuck in the middle of nowhere.
So he's probably dead.
Also, that.
I bet vultures are hanging out in his skeleton.
Probably.
So the only thing I like in Vigilante 8 was how the cars look. The arcade.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Boogie looks amazing, though. I like the green-black thing.
Oh, yeah, his,
Gremlin.
His leprechaun, yeah. No, it's the leprechaun in arcade.
Right, it's just that, Vigilante Arcade is not the worst thing ever, but I wish it could have been better.
It could have been a lot better, yeah.
But, to be perfectly honest, it could have been worse, so...
I think Arcade was the reason we haven't gotten any more V8 games after that, because V8 Arcade didn't do very well, sales-wise.
Well, it's not really the game franchise's fault. It's the people who market the game's fault.
That too, yeah.
I mean, okay, you can make an argument that V8 Arcade was made by the wrong people. Kinda? Yeah.
It didn't have the full original team behind it, but it did still have most of Luxo Flux behind it.
Right, but it was like... I bet we're gonna get a third game, but I bet we're gonna get a third game, like a third game in the story, but I don't know how they're going to continue after Second Offense.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. It didn't have Luxo Flux behind it. It only had some of the members, because they actually went off and made Isopod Labs.
Oh.
Those are the developers of V8 Arcade.
Oh, but you get what I mean? Like,
some of the names, yeah.
Like,
it would have been nice to have a third proper game, but in the sense of story-wise, Second Offense was kind of rounded off pretty neatly.
Still wanted to... Yeah, yeah, true. So, yeah. So do you have tips for people to play Vigilante 8 too?
It's all about memorization, like where everything is, and like how does this character handle, what weapons are good, how should I be using this special weapon, where are the item pickups. It's mostly about memorization.
So that's it?
I mean, I got good at the game just by playing it a lot. It's just sort of practice. That's a thing you can apply to mostly anything. It's just practice.
Oh man. Oh, dude. Do you like other game franchises?
A few. I don't think I could list them off the top of my head, but I know I'm not into anything as much as I am Vigilante 8, but I enjoy plenty of other games, obviously.
Do you have an N64?
Used to.
Dude, that console kicks so much ass.
Oh yeah, it was probably my second favorite console of all time.
Dude, okay. Alright, man. Okay, so, one of the things, what's your favorite endings in both Vigilante 8, 1, and 2? Like, why do you like these endings?
Oh, endings? Oh, actually...
This is hard.
My favorite ending actually is probably going to be Padres.
Who's who's is Padre that army
He's the cultman. Like he's the doomsday prophet guy.
who's basically he has a cult of just one person, and that's himself.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
And he's like, "Oh, the end is near," or whatever, and he drives around in that
Army
military truck.
I think that's dangerous to give a cult leader a military device.
Well, I think he had a previous life in the military, so that might be why he has it. But his ending's really funny because he actually does start his doomsday or whatever,
and then
he just gets fucking zapped by lightning and dies.
What's your favorite ending to Vigilante 8-1?
8-1. I can remember what the fucking endings were. Actually, honestly, I'm probably Clyde's off the top of my head.
Because at least it leads to something else.
Yeah, it leads into the second game sort of thing.
Dude,
Beeswax is also pretty good.
Oh, dude, my favorite game is Bobo's. Favorite ending.
Oh, yeah, he knocked on his ass.
I mean, he got his car kidnapped.
It went to a good purpose.
Yeah, but for an intelligent monkey, that's not good. And he just,
oh, I know.
And he doesn't even go after it. He just slows down. I get, like, he
does catch up to him eventually.
I know, but it's like he's like, dude, really, you're really that intelligent? Go after the thing. It's your vehicle. Oh man. Also, one of my I also want to know something funny about Vigilante 8.
Go on.
Is there like oh, okay, I forgot.
Trying to get your words together.
I know, dude. I mean, this Vigilante 8 series is so wild and crazy.
Oh yeah, there's almost nothing else like it.
Oh man, so Vigilante 8 and Second Offense, but mostly Second Offense, has inspired me to make a comic that's similar to this. Or
okay.
Well, okay, to be honestly fair, it's based off some dumb sitcom that's really dumb. And I'm putting these two characters in this original game series, something fun, to have a good laugh. Plus, I'm fucking bored.
Yeah, no, that's sort of the main reason for anybody these days with everyone being stuck at home. That's probably why I've been making so many videos.
Dude, I'm telling you, making a game... I mean, no, not a game. Making a story based off car combat is so not easy.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it's not a game, because it's mostly story, which isn't bad. Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is... I mean, it's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like, how did... V8 did it so well. Like, I got inspired by a Second Offense, but I don't want to copy it note by note. You get what I mean? It's just, when something inspires me, it's hard to make it original.
Yeah, it's hard not to just copy the homework.
Yeah, it's like... Oh, man. Oh, man. Do you have a favorite movie?
If I had to pick a movie, it'd probably be Scott Pilgrim.
That is a good choice. My favorite movie is Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie. Do you have any advice for any Aussie people?
In regards to what? Just in general life?
General life.
Be the best cunt you can be.
I love Australia, to be honest.
It's a pretty alright place.
Dude, well, at least you got Steve Irwin.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Irwin's awesome. I love Steve Irwin.
His kids are great, too. Like, oh, jeez, his name escaped. I know it's Bindi, and I forget his son's name for some reason.
Hunter?
I think it is.
Dude, Dude, I'm telling you, man. And I wish to go to Australia. I want to see some kiwis. No, that's New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, kiwis are across the ocean. They're over in
Kangaroos? Is there kangaroos in
Yeah,
Australia?
kangaroos is a big thing here, but technically they're actually a pest. But
Do they punch hard?
no, they kick.
Do they kick hard?
Yeah, and they will knock you on your ass.
So don't get kicked by a kangaroo.
Basically.
Man, this has been a good podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being my guests. We'll see you in some other time, people. Krueger With A Thought out. Thank you, man.
No worries.